Welcome to Kamadhenu Law Academy. Today we are going to discuss about transfer of property, synopsis or introduction to transfer of property, scheme of transfer, definition of transfer of property and essentials of valid transfer. In this we are going to have the overview of transfer of property and we are also going to see the how judiciary interpreted the movable property and immovable property. So introduction is transfer of property is not an independent act. It is not exhaustive. It is non-exhaustive in nature because it is read with other acts. If we are taking the help of the another act, that means we are not complete, exhaustive. We are non-exhaustive. So we are in this act we are also going to refer with Succession Act, Contract Act, Sale of Goods Act, Transfer of Property Act by itself. The scope of the act is very limited and it is applicable to only sale, mortgage, gift, exchange and charge. And it is not applicable to inheritance, insolvency, forfeiture, sale of execution of degree by will. Okay. So this is the scheme of the transfer of property. In transfer of property, we have it's divided into two parts. How property can be transferred. One by the act of parties, another by operation of law. By act of parties, it is the inter vivos. That means it happens only with the living persons. That is the transfer of property, whether immovable or movable, and transfer of property with immovable property. Immovable properties are the sale, mortgage and charges, lease, exchange, gift, actionable claims. We will deal with each sections in our upcoming classes. And by operation of law is when a person dies without giving any, without transferring his property. Here it is living persons. Here it is after death. So it may be a intestate or the testamentary. So what is the definition of transfer of property? According to Transfer of Property Act, Section 5 deals with definition of Transfer of Property Act. Here let me be clear with the definitions. When the act does not contain any definitions, if the act is not explaining certain words, you have to always refer General Clause Act for your meaning. If you didn't get your meaning there also, then you have to go to the normal dictionary meaning. So what does transfer of property section 5 says? In the following sections, transfer of property means an act by which a living person conveys property. Okay, he's giving his property in present, today also, or in future, maybe for after 2 days, 5 days, 10 years, whatever, to one or more other living persons. He can give it to one or more other living persons also, or he can give it to himself also in the name of trust, and one or more other living persons. Okay, and to transfer the property is to perform such act. Now this act he is performing. Okay, so in this section, living person is defined. See, what is living person is explained. Includes, that is inclusive in nature. So it includes a company, association or a body of individuals, whether incorporated or not. Okay. So immovable property. So in this act they have discussed does not include standing timber and growing crops or grass. So see, immovable property is not defined in Transfer of Property Act. So we took the help of General Clause Act. It includes land, benefit arises of land, things attached to land, things embedded in the earth, things attached to what is so embedded in the earth, things rooted in the earth except standing timber, growing crops. Okay, so each one will be explained in detail in our upcoming classes. What are the essentials of valid transfer? This transfer, you are transferring a property. Is it valid or not? Who is going to see that? How it is going to be judged that this transfer is valid? So you should be competent to contract. You can refer Indian Contract Act, and age of majority, soundness of mind when you're transferring your property, and not otherwise legally disqualified. You should not be disqualified by law. And entitled to transfer. You should have your property title. Without title you cannot transfer. Otherwise you should have some authority to transfer. That is, authority to transfer or entitled to transfer are the very important essentials of transfer of property. Thank you.